Today I've got this awesome 3D printed zombie, and I'm gonna show you just how easy and fast you can get it painted, even without advanced skills. So without further ado, let's get started. First of all, we've got to prime the model. I'm using a black primer for all my projects. It doesn't really matter which brand you pick, they all have pros and cons, but in this case, I'm using one from MMig. Now, before I started, I degreased the model using pure rubbing alcohol. Since I'm too lazy to set up my airbrush, I'm just applying the primer with a regular brush. I know it's not the most economical choice regarding primer usage, but it gets the job done. Now that's done, it's time to prepare the skin for contrast paints. To do that, we'll be using the over Drybrush technique. Don't be concerned about harsh brush strokes, in fact, that's what we're aiming for. We want to make the transition between the raised areas and the crevices as noticeable as possible. The next step will be applying the very bottom layer of skin, which will serve as the base for all subsequent work. For this, I mixed two contrast paints from Citadel, which together create a burnt skin effect and are excellent for establishing the correct tone in the recesses. However, one must be cautious when mixing them, as the contrast pink is very saturated and can quickly overpower the other contrast paint. The pink should be added in small drops until the desired shade is achieved. After this, we apply a standard dry brush across the entire skin surface using any flesh tone. I used Cadian Fleshtone paint, the best flesh color I have encountered so far. Lighten the base flesh tone with any white color and highlight the shoulders, forehead, upper part of the head, fingers, elbows, and certain muscles. To create the impression of unhealthy skin, I mixed a bit of green into the existing flesh color and carefully applied small, precise touches to specific areas. The main thing at this stage is not to overdo it and make the skin too green, unless of course that is your goal. The final step in working on the torso will be adding flesh, blood and bones. Everything is very simple here. For the flesh effect I used Viscera effect. For the ribs I used skeleton bone and shaded them with Agrax shade. And I edged the wound with dry blood from the army painter. You don't even need to try hard here, just carefully paint everything in the correct colors, trying to avoid overly obvious brush strokes. It all comes together for a very nice result. Off camera I used a few additional blood paints for blood splatters and streaks. Dark blood in the center of the stain, lighter closer to the edges. I decided to paint the trousers blue to introduce a bright color into the resulting grimy palette. For this I used a blue from Citadel, which is a very pleasant color. I then applied a generous amount of a Citadel shade over the top to add tones and create shadows in the folds. The final step was to apply the highlights using a dry brush, by mixing the base paint with white. I imitated the saliva using regular rubber cement. The popular Yahoo glue is often recommended for jobs like this, but I used glue from my local store and got an equally good result. The final touch is to add a bit of ground and a lot of blood and gourd its base. Putty mixed with sand and cat litter makes for an excellent paste that allows you to take your time, yet dries relatively quickly. This way you don't waste much time and can continue working. After the mixture has dried, the standard procedures follow: priming, applying the base coat, shading the recesses, and dry brushing with the base color and then a lighter version of it. And now it's time for the most fun moment, blood and gore. The pile of guts was simulating using shredded foam rubber, generously mixed with PVA glue and the AK Interactive Viscera Effect paint. This was the first time I had used shredded foam rubber, and I underestimated how much it would shrink after fully drying. It shrunk by about 10 times. That's why I ended up with a gut pile much smaller than I wanted. Something to take into consideration next time. For the blood I used all blood paints I got in my arsenal, and altogether they gave surprisingly good and quite plausible outcome. It may not look so on the camera, but it does look so in person. And here we are, the final result.
The night is cold, the moon's aglow, shadows crawl where the lost souls go, graveyard whispers a tale untold. Hands outstretched, the hunger's real, brains I crave, I need to feel. Dinner, brains for lunch, I want that sweet cerebral crunch. Brains for breakfast, brains for tea, a zombie feast, just you and me. I stagger slow, but my heart's alive. Rotten face, but I still survive. In my head, only one desire thrives. Shuffling feet, I'm on the chase. Brains I crave, I need to feel. Oh, brains for dinner, brains for lunch, I want that sweet cerebral crunch. Breakfast, brains for tea, a zombie feast, just you and me. I stagger slow, but my heart's alive. Rotten face, but I still survive. In my head, only one desire thrives. Shuffling feet, I'm on the chase. Oh, brains I crave.
Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Take care.